Hey, what's up, everybody? Once again, my name is DJ, doing what I do, sitting back here on a Monday, chilling. And of course, it's not Monday. And as you can see, I'm not even at the office. I'm just kind of soaking up, some of this good weather while we, still got it. So, today we're going to talk about I get a lot of my students and a lot of people asking me what different aspects or what are things that is needed to be a good fighter or a proficient fighter or whatever. So I decided to do this video, and I was thinking it ain't really even about being a good fighter. I wanted to do a video about what it takes to be a fighter in general. Just a fighter. So I'm gonna go over 3 things that I think is needed to be a fighter. It's always 3, sometimes more, but today is just 3. All right, cool. All right, let's get right into it. So we talking about 3 things that it takes to be a fighter. Now we're talking about a fighter. Of course, here on this channel, we talk about a fighter as far as self-defense, being willing to go in and physically defend yourself. But a fighter is not just about self-defense. It's about being a fighter in general. Some people are fighters, physical fighters. Some people are, they're fighters in the boardroom. Some people just like, they just a person that just is not going to be like, taken advantage of or pushed around or, bullied and stuff like that. That's what I mean by a fighter, okay? So here are 3 things that is needed to be, that every fighter needs to have, every fighter needs to be, okay? Now, the first thing may seem kind of obvious, but you'll be surprised on how many people actually don't have this. And that is the willingness to fight, okay? The willingness to fight. You would be surprised on how many people just aren't even willing to fight. Now, I actually think that most people, I think everybody has what I would call a breaking point, and that is you can only push a person but so far before they're gonna come back at you. Everybody has that breaking point, but some people's breaking point is a lot further back than others. As a matter of fact, some people get pushed, they will allow themselves to get pushed so far back, by the time they get ready to fight, they're already broken. Their breaking point is so far back here that once they get to here, it's too late. They're already about to be pushed off the cliff. But then you got other people who their breaking point is like right here, like you can't push them at all. Some people I was a lot of people talk about people who are real quick tempered or just quick to fight. I don't really think it's about really being a temper. A temper is when you're not controlled. I'm talking about people that they just not going to be pushed around. It don't take much. Physically, if somebody jump at them, they're going to jump back. If they're at their job and they think that their employer or their co-worker is trying to take advantage of them, it ain't gonna happen. They're gonna let them know, like, off the break. They just have that aura about themselves because their breaking point is they're always at their breaking point. They are natural fighters. And I think that is something that is needed, to actually be a fighter. People look at MMA, people look at boxing and stuff like that, and you gotta. Even if a person loses or gets knocked out or whatever, you got to have a certain amount of confidence just to get into the ring. Just the fact that you're willing to get into the ring and go toe to toe with somebody, means that you're a fighter. If you look at like I always talk about my man Michael Jordan and Kobe and stuff like that, the fact that they are able to like get the ball and take the last shot and stuff, that just the willingness to do that. I used to play pool, and I'm gonna tell you, I understand why some people breaking point is far back, because when I used to play pool, I would be really, really, I ain't gonna say really, really good. I was okay until I got to the 8 ball or the 9 ball, and that last ball I had to get in, it always gave me problems. Well, it gave me even more problems if it was a lot of people there watching. Just having a lot of people there watching and me had to take the shot in front of a lot of everybody made me kind of nervous. Well, imagine a Michael Jordan, imagine a Kobe Bryant, may he rest in peace, having to take that last shot in front of millions and millions of people. Imagine having to get in the ring in front of millions and millions of people. Just having the willingness and the bravery to do that, alone makes you a warrior, makes you a fighter. Which brings me to my second thing. The second thing that you need to be a good fighter, and I know this is going to sound like a pun, but you need to have confidence during chaos. You got to have confidence during the chaos. You cannot be afraid of losing. You got to be willing to take a punch. If you are afraid of losing, that makes your breaking point back up, because you're afraid of losing. When somebody jump at you, if you're afraid of losing, you might let them get away with it. If your boss is being, rude to you or taking advantage of you, and you scared of losing your job, then you might let your boss take advantage of you. If your coworker is saying some things they probably shouldn't say, and you're afraid that if you speak up for yourself, other people are going to look at you some kind of way, you might not be able to speak up for yourself. Okay, you gotta you cannot be afraid of taking the L. You can't be afraid of taking a punch. That's why you see a lot of times people, they're in the ring and they like, especially, I always talk about sparring, some kind of way in my videos it comes back to sparring. But you talk about people who spar, and they spar, but they pot shot. They throw a jab, they throw a cross, they throw a kick. It's one punch sparring. You know why? They do one punch sparring because they know if they're going for 2 or 3 shots, they may get hit. So instead of throwing 2, 3, 4 shots, they get hit. That's why I have I do little sparring drills when I say, all right, you gotta throw at least 4 punches, because if you don't, that lets me know if somebody's actually willing to go into a fight, because you can't just go in there pot shotting. There was a fight last week, my favorite fighter, Lomachenko, right, who was going against Lopez. Now, Lopez, I didn't know who Lopez was until recently. Lopez is actually a good fighter, and I'm a fan of Lopez as well. But Lomachenko, the fight went 12 rounds. Now, I knew that Lomachenko wasn't going to win when we got to round 6. The reason why, because Lomachenko, who was a slow starter, had played it safe in round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. He played it safe for so long that he would have to knock the guy out in order to win. And he played it safe for too long. Well, Lopez, he wasn't playing it safe at all. He was going in for the kill off the break. Okay, so he had no fear of losing. Where Lomachenko, he was a little careful, until he got his confidence up, because he hadn't fought in a while. But you can't be like that. You can't be like that. A warrior don't even think about losing. A warrior think about winning off the break. So you cannot be afraid to get punched. Okay, whether it's in a self-defense scenario, it's in a relationship, whether it's in a employment situation, you got to be willing to stand up for yourself. Because if you don't stand up for yourself, then some people will take you down. So you got to be willing to stand up. Which brings me to number 3. You got to be willing to take the punch, but you also have to assume the win. When any good fighter when they get into a situation, they don't go into that situation thinking that they're going to lose. Let's go back to the Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan situation, right? When Kobe Bryant take that shot, he assumes he's going to win. When Jordan took the shot, he assumed he was going to win. When Muhammad Ali came in the fight, he assumed he was going to win. When I had to go up and take that shot, that last 8-ball shot, I assumed I was going to miss. That was the problem. I assumed that I was going to miss. So you can't be like that, all right? You got to be a warrior. You got to be a fighter. You go in there, you got to assume that I am going to win. So if you out here on the street and you got a situation where you got to defend yourself, you can't, you got to assume that I'm going to win this fight. I'm going to get away. I'm going to go home safe. No matter what, by any means necessary, I am going to end up victorious one way or another. During this pandemic, people, say, how do I keep my spirits and stuff like that. The reason why I'm able to keep my spirits is because I'm assuming the win. Okay, no matter what happens, this thing ain't gonna destroy me. I'm assuming that when it's over, I'm gonna be standing. I may be the last man standing. If I'm not the last man standing, I'm definitely gonna be one of the men standing. That's just my attitude. Okay, same thing in a confrontation. If I have to defend myself or my loved ones, my family, I'm assuming that I can do that. Why? Well, one of the ways that you can do that is preparation. Okay? How do you assume the win? It's preparation. The reason why Michael Jordan thought he was going to make the shot, because he had practiced and prepared to make that shot. The reason why Kobe Bryant thought he was going to make the shot, because he had practiced and practiced. The reason Muhammad Ali thought he was going to win, because he had practiced. The reason why I thought I was going to not make the shot, because I didn't practice enough. Okay? So you have to prepare. Preparation, okay? Preparation is key. The more prepared you are, the more confident you are, and the more you will assume the win, okay? So those are 3 things that I think that you need to be a good fighter, to be a fighter in general, or to defend yourself. You got to have your willingness, have your willingness to do it. You gotta you can't be afraid to take the L, take the loss, take the punch. And 3, you have to assume the victory. You know what, man? This old school dude told me, and I've always done this. He was telling me, this when it came to to talking to women. He was talking about talking to women, and he said, man, when you ask a woman for her phone number, you should already assume that she gonna say, you should already have your, he was talking about, he didn't say phone because phones wasn't out back then, but you should already have your hand and pen and paper and assume that she's gonna give you the number when you ask for it. You have to, that's how you gotta carry it. You gotta carry it like that in everything you do in life. If you go to a job interview, you have to assume the job is yours. Okay? If you have to defend yourself, you have to assume that you're going to be able to win the fight. Confidence. You got to have that confidence. You got to have that swagger. A good fighter has confidence. Good fighter has swagger. A good fighter assumes the win. But, however you're going to do, whatever kind of fighter you're going to be, just be the best that you can be. All right? That's just my opinion. Okay? Cool. Peace. I'm out. Oh! Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, guys. All right? Like, comment, subscribe, because I got more.